Up Paleo, where we talk all things nutrition straight up. I'm one of your hosts, Christina Rice. I'm a holistic health coach, nutritional therapy practitioner in training, and the creator of the Paleo Women Lifestyle Program. You can find me on my website and blog, ChristinaRiceWellness.com, as well as on my other podcast, Wellness Realness.
And I'm your other host, Kara Halderman. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner from Dallas, Texas, NLP master practitioner and mindset coach, and creator of careaboutit.com. In this podcast, we'll be discussing all things paleo, health, and nutrition, along with answering questions straight from you.
If you'd like to submit a question for us to answer on the podcast, head to straightuppaleo.com or email us at straightuppaleo@gmail.com.
Remember our disclaimer. Materials in this podcast are only to be used as advice and are not to be used in place of general medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
If you want to support the show, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a rating and a review on iTunes. Enjoy the show!
Hey, Christina, happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday! Guess what?
What?
Today's a huge day.
Why? Because it's my birthday?
Because it's your birthday! Woohoo!
Woo-hoo, I'm old AF.
You're an old lady. Sorry, just kidding. You're 23.
No, it's true. I'm 23. Wait. I'm like 80 in a 23-year-old
yeah.
body.
Yeah.
Basically.
But it's weird to be 23. You're now my senior.
I know. Well,
I guess you're always my senior.
We're the same age.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'll be 23 in a month. Well, today's a big day for a lot of reasons, though. So, It's your birthday. But
it is my birthday. What else is going on?
Today also... Well, as they listen to this, we will be in Portland together.
Yeah.
To celebrate your birthday. So make sure you're following us on Instagram to see our adventures. We are going to be going to the NTA conference this weekend, but also the day this comes out. Well, I don't know if you guys actually listen to our intro or if you skip over it. You
should listen to the intro. It's probably the best part.
It's the best part. Welcome to Straight Up Paleo. Okay, whatever. But we updated our intros, and that's exciting. So we have new intro music, and also today my new website launched. It better have. If it didn't launch today, then I'm pissed at my web designer, and it's launching in the next few days.
You're fired.
It's scheduled to launch today on the 1st, so it better. So
we both had things scheduled to launch today. I got the flu and died. No. Oh. No. I literally got the flu and died, and then I don't know what happened to me, but after I got the flu, I lost it. I just completely shut down all of my work ethic. But it's really almost done, so I'm thinking I'm only a week behind schedule. So It'll be within the next week.
Good. Well, more happy stuff. But yeah, we'll see how my whole rebrand goes. It should be interesting. So
It'll be great.
No longer have addictedtolovely.com. Sorry.
You're a woman now.
It's all on ChristinaRiceWellness.com. I no longer have Actually Adultish podcast. It's now Wellness Realness podcast with Christina Rice. I'm very excited about it. And we'll see how people respond. It'll be interesting. I know I'm going to lose a lot of followers, but it's fine.
I don't understand that. People would just stop following you when you change a name.
I don't understand it either, but it's just what happens, and everybody who goes through this knows. Everybody who I've talked to, you're gonna lose a ton of followers. I'm I know, but
that's just kind of crazy to me.
It's got to be done.
I don't know.
If it's a follower who's gonna drop me because I changed my name, then I don't want them following me.
I was gonna say that's not true.
Yeah, you're not a true homie. You're not in the fam.
You're not a homie.
Yeah, it's the same content. It's just a new name. It's just making my life easier. Growing up, doing things. That's all
awesome.
Good. Yeah,
I think we're both growing up. It's kind of cool.
We are growing up. You guys get to watch us grow up.
Basically, Oh God. I can't. Like the fact we're recording this and I'm like not 23 yet, whatever. It's like Tuesday or honestly it's
Monday.
Oh my God.
I thought it was Tuesday.
I'm still losing it.
Kara and I are both really like stressed out because we're trying to fit like 3 weeks worth of work into 2 days before we leave on Portland or to Portland, not on Portland. I can't even
Can you tell we've lost it?
Yeah, I think we're both just extremely stressed and like trying to fit everything in, and it's like crunch mode. So
yeah. Oh my, can I tell you something really random that I ate today?
Sure.
Okay, this is so random, but so I still do some private chef stuff here and there because I like it and it's fun. And when I'm at Whole Foods, I'm always looking at like new products and whatever. And I've never, ever even like considered eating a perfect bar ever in my life. And well, I looked at the ingredients for the normal ones and I was like, I'm not a fan because they all have like milk and whey in them. But then I found that plant-based like vegan one and it actually looks super good. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get it and I'm going to eat it. And I ate it and it was honestly delicious.
Did it taste like candy?
No.
Really?
I know it has a lot of sugars.
Was it the vanilla almond one?
No, like, okay, to be honest, it didn't really have a, I feel like it didn't really have a flavor.
This is the $1 million question. Did you crumble it up and top it on top of a smoothie or a fancy yogurt bowl and then drizzle it with some more nut butter?
No, I literally just ate the effing
Maybe an
bar.
edible flour on there?
God, no. Or I thought you were going to ask me, did I eat half of it? Because apparently everyone like just eats half of a perfect bar because it has too many carbs, too many sugars, too many calories. I looked at the label and I was like, this is a good amount of calories. Like most bars are super low calorie and would never in a million years fill me up because they only have like 100 to 150 calories. I think the perfect bar I ate had 270. So that's pretty good. And sure, it had like 20 grams of carbs, but it was coming from like dates and dried cherries and whatever. And I'm chill with that. I don't care. But it like fascinates me that some people eat half of the bar.
Well,
that's really interesting.
I think they should because it's so much sugar.
I felt fine. I'm also going to work out in like a couple hours.
My thing is just like, I don't, how do I, it's just like, why would I eat half a bar or a bar, right? That's going to be done in 5 bites when I could eat like 3 mountains of vegetables.
I know. That's always the dilemma.
I would much rather eat my 3 mountains of vegetables.
I know. I'm not even going to lie. I've been really lazy lately. Like after I got the flu, also like apologies for my flu-like self last week. I was in a daze the whole time. But I don't know. Ever since then, I have not wanted to cook anything, like do anything. I just completely lost all motivation for life. So convenience has been super important to me since then. And for some reason, I was like, I'm going to eat this freaking perfect bar. And I did. And it was actually really delicious.
You know,
I kind of get the hype.
I still don't buy into it. You know, I don't like bars, but I'm more strict than you. I just can't. You know what else, though? We both ate the whole thing. That was so good.
Wait, what?
Our cauliflower pizza crust.
Oh, heck yeah. That stuff is amazing.
It was so good. Oh, so my good. God.
What did you put on your pizza crust? So
I was super lazy and I just didn't want to commit to opening a whole jar of marinara. I also didn't want to commit to making marinara. I get really weird about food when I know I'm traveling because I don't want to like open something when I feel like
I'm the same way.
You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not going to use it up by the time I leave. Then it's going to go bad. I also was too lazy to like make a sauce. So I did this thing that like I used to, when I went to Spain a few years ago, this was what everybody ate. They would just blend tomatoes with olive oil and then use that as like a puree spread on top of toast. So I basically just like blended tomatoes with olive oil and it tastes really good. And then
that sounds really good.
Yeah. And then I added in some like Italian seasoning just to make it like pizza-y, right? And then I just put that as a sauce, and then I did eggplant, mushrooms, Brussels sprouts. I baked that, and then that was like
classic.
And nutritional yeast, just like to make it cheesier, I guess. And then I just like alongside that ate like a container of lamb. But I didn't put it on top because it was like ground lamb and it would looked ugly, and I wanted to take a picture.
The pizza crust itself, though, it tastes really good. I had the flatbread one. I don't know if you had the actual pizza crust one, but apparently there's a couple different pizza crusts. If y'all don't know about the company that we're talking about Cali'flour Foods. They've recently just become a sponsor of the podcast, and it's freaking awesome because I am not kidding you guys. I haven't eaten pizza in God knows how long because I am lazy and I don't like to make pizza crust. Like, and making your own cauliflower pizza crust is a hit or miss. It's either going to come out super good or it's just going to crumble apart and be a hot mess.
Make the one on my blog. It's bomb if you're going to do it.
Okay, so yeah, good. You could make Christina's, but if you're like me and you're just like, no, I'm not even going to F with that right now. The Cali'flour Foods pizza crust is awesome. Like you basically, you pre-bake it basically. And then you put all your toppings on, you put it back in the oven, and it holds together, which is...
And it literally is like, no, it's like you literally take it out of the freezer, you put it in for 5 minutes, you take it out, put toppings on, put it in for 10 minutes, and your pizza's done.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, that's how fast it was. And it tasted so good. My issue with it, though, was that, you know me and garlic.
Oh, yeah.
I shouldn't have had all that. Like, I passed out.
Oh, God.
I literally fainted from the garlic. But other than that, it was super good.
Oh, God. That's terrible.
Hashtag no regrets. I need to stop with all the garlic.
I know. I told Christina, I'm like, you're not dying when we go to Portland. Like, we're not doing it.
I have to pick and choose my battles.
I know. Pizza crust may not be worth it on that one.
Yeah. No, but the crust is so good. I mean, I think next time I just have to not eat the whole pizza. Maybe just dose it down. Garlic is very dose dependent for me because I eat things with garlic and I don't have any reactions, but I feel like when I can taste, like when I eat something and I can taste, oh, there's garlic in that, that's when it's too much for me. But like there'll be things I eat that I don't really taste the garlic because it's such a small amount and I don't usually have reactions.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I still want to know like why you react to garlic so strongly. It's so interesting to me.
I'm intolerant to it. Like my heart rate like doubles.
That's so crazy.
It's crazy. Like I can feel my heart pounding. It's so insane. But
I would cry if that happened to me with garlic because I put it in almost everything.
Yeah. I wish it didn't because I love the taste. It has so many good antibacterial, whatever. But
the pizza crust is super garlicky too, and it's delicious.
It's really good.
And it's paleo.
Yeah, it's paleo. We like the vegan one.
If you're like not into eggs or you're intolerant to eggs, like me.
Yeah. There's a lot of pre-made crusts out there, and this is the only one I've ever used because it's the only one with the ingredients that I like.
Yeah, it's 100% paleo, and it's not super like starchy or carb heavy. Like if you get the Trader Joe's one, it's basically like corn flour and like some cauliflower, and it's super starchy and like cardboardy. This one actually tastes like something, and it's super low carb. It's like eating a vegetable flatbread. Yeah, you can pick it up, and the edges get really crispy, and it's really good. And honestly, if I didn't have so much food in my fridge right now, I would make a pizza. And I'm pissed because, like you said, I opened up a whole jar of marinara.
Oh.
And it's going to waste. Like, no. I'm not going to use it.
Can you make something for your mom to use it?
I'm going to freeze it, I think.
Oh, yeah. That's what you could do.
Are you about to sneeze?
Yeah, it's not coming. Oh, my God. It's like halfway there. Oh, okay.
I'm done.
We'll see if it comes. Oh my God, I want it to, it's not coming. Oh man. Okay, yeah, but you guys check out this pizza crust. It's amazing. Cauliflowerfoods.com. Amazing. We'll link it in the show notes. It's spelled Califlour.
Yeah, like flour.
.com. Yeah.
Like not an actual flour, but like baking flour,
Yeah, so check it out. They're the best, and we're excited to be working with them. And you guys should definitely get that if you want to have Pizza Friday tomorrow.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Awkward.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. And what else? We're about to eat so much good food. Before we hopped on, Kara and I were talking about all the places we want to eat at in Portland. And
honestly, if you guys have any recommendations, I know that it will be Thursday. I want the recommendation.
I don't, because I already know everywhere people are going to say, and I don't want a million messages, and I don't want to confuse us.
Send them to me. I just want to know.
Send them to Kara, but I already know where I want to eat, and I don't need any more things making me confused. The most important places, I can tell you the most important places in Portland.
Okay? Cultured Caveman is just like
Cultured Caveman, Dick's Kitchen, Broth Bar, Harlow / Prasad, Canteen, Cure, the Cacao Place, Eben Bean. If you're gonna do baked goods, Eden, back to Eden Bakery, Petunias.
I love baked goods. Oh my gosh, I have to go there.
All of the things. What else? Yeah, we only have one day there, so.
I know, but I feel like I could fit in so many things. Maybe, probably not, honestly. It'll probably go by so fast.
So we're going to be in Portland for one day, and then we're going to be at the NTA conference, the Nutritional Therapy Association, for the next 3 days after that. And it's going to be really fun to see everybody, and we'll probably cook food in our Airbnb.
Christina's gonna use me as a test client.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna probe at you. I'm gonna palpate you. Yeah, and then I come back for like 2 days, and then I have midterms next week, so that's gonna be fun. I'm very interested to see Kara's 5-hour-long nighttime routine. We've never stayed in the same place before, so we'll see how this goes.
Honestly, when I'm traveling, it's a mess. Like, I don't even know if a nighttime routine will exist, but I'm gonna force it.
We'll see how it goes. I don't know why I feel like you traveling is so weird to me, like, because I feel like you don't really ever travel.
I don't, which is why I was telling Christina before this, like, I know nothing, like, about traveling. I just show up. Like, I buy a ticket and I show up and I pray for the best. I was telling her that I got an email today because I bought my flight on Expedia, and I got an email from Expedia, and it's like, you can check in for your flight. And I was like, I'm not at the airport. What do you mean I can check in for my flight? Like, I didn't know that. And so I went and I was like, okay, fine, I'll check in. And apparently you could pick your seat and everything. And I picked my seat, and all that was left was middle seats, and I'm pissed about it. But I'm going to manifest an opening for a window seat. Yeah, so we'll see.
Oh, you like the window seat? I like the aisle.
Why? I used to always... You have to pee like a million times?
Yeah, I have to be able to pee. I used to only want the window seat, and then I became a water drinker, and now if I'm not on the aisle, I cannot deal.
I will move, like, I will climb over everyone to get to the bathroom. I just love the window seat so much because it makes me feel less claustrophobic because I'm near the air, like the window, and I can see everything.
That makes sense.
I get a little stressed out when I'm up in the air. Like, I don't know what it is, but I love flying, but I get a little stressed out when I'm in the air. And I'm honestly wondering what people would think of me if I, like, put my Somnifix on the plane just to calm down.
Did you hear that? Oh, okay.
What happened?
I just got a phone call while we were recording this, and it shows up on my computer because my, like, iCloud is, and it said it was, like, from me. Like, the name, like, it, like, it was, like, I was calling myself. That's so weird. Okay, sorry. I just feel like that is weird. Someone from another universe is trying to contact me. That was weird.
Or a scammer from, like, South Africa. Either one.
No, like, I have myself in my phone contacts as me.
No, I know. I mean, that's happened to me before where I've called myself, but it wasn't me. Like, it's a scam phone call.
Okay. I can't talk about that. It'll stress me out. I have too much other stress to deal with. Back to what we're talking about. Okay.
But I was saying, I want to wear my Somnifix on the plane.
You should.
To, like, help me de-stress. And I'm just wondering, will people think I'm an actual freak if I do that?
I've done face masks on a plane.
Stop.
Yeah, like a sheet mask.
I'm like...
The plane is the perfect time to do shit like that. No,
it is not. Yeah. Not when... It is not when you are the middle seat. It is not a good time to do that.
Well, see, I use all of these as tactics to make people not want to sit next to me because I always fly Southwest, so it's like free-for-all seating. And I am an expert at getting my own entire aisle basically by just sending out signals to people that they do not want to sit next to me.
Oh, God.
I'm one of those. So I think using my mouth tape could be really great. Also, I was going to say that was like, because I always forget to pack things, so I always make a list ahead of time, and like top of my list is Somnifix because I need to be on my sleep game this weekend. I'm counting on you to keep me in check. Like, I cannot run off of 3 hours of sleep a night, which tends to happen.
I will not let you.
And I'm like, if I forget my mouth tape, I won't be able to sleep. I like depend on it so much.
I know, I do too. And while I had the flu and I couldn't breathe out of my nose, it was terrible. I slept so bad the whole entire time. And now that I'm able to use the mouth tape again, I'm sleeping so much better. And like we were saying, you could use it on a plane. You could use it wherever the heck you want because just breathing through your nose activates the parasympathetic nervous system. So you're just automatically getting into a more relaxed, calm, comfortable state. And I think it could help me relieve some plane anxiety. Yeah. But you need it to be on your sleep game this weekend.
That's a really good point. People should use that if they have, like people who have a hard time flying because they get anxious. That's such a good hack. You just put your mouth tape on. I think I'm going to
do it.
Yeah. Or if you have a child who's a screamer child, and I hate when they are screaming children on planes, you could just tape up their mouth.
I'm sorry. I see a lawsuit like waiting to happen. Like other people are like, what are you doing?
I hope people know that I'm like not serious, but kind of serious.
I'm kind of serious.
But I know. No, I think it's a good idea though. Like I would use that if I had a kid who was really rambunctious on the plane. I'd be like, okay, we're doing your mouth tape so you can fall asleep and not yell.
I actually like that idea. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. But you don't say like to shut up, like you say to relax, make them calm down.
I'm just saying things for the comedic effect, okay?
No, I'm just saying I see all the scenarios running through my head of.
Oh God, I know you got to be careful of what you say on planes, but yeah. So if you guys want to stock up on your Somnifix, which reminds me I need to get some more, use the code SUPSLEEP for 10% off. SUPSLEEP. 10% off. You get it on Amazon, or you can go to the website somnifix.com and press buy, and it'll link you to Amazon, but it's Prime, so it'll be at your house in 2 days. And then you can have the best sleep / plane ride of your life.
Yep.
It'll be epic. So that's the Somnifix necessity. But other than that, I feel like that's kind of the only thing I needed to make sure I definitely got. That, underwear, clothes.
That, and Squatty Potty.
Oh, are you bringing the Squatty Potty?
Heck yeah. I can't live without my Squatty Potty anymore.
Aren't you glad I got you? You guys, if you don't know, for Christmas, I got Kara the travel Squatty Potty. So
it was the best gift I've ever gotten.
I'm so glad. It's a gift for me, too, because you're going to bring it, so we can both use it.
That's like at the top of my list. My top travel essentials right now are my retainers and the Squatty Potty.
Yeah, retainers.
If I've got that, we're golden.
I also need my essential oils, but it's so bougie. I feel like so high maintenance when I bring my oils, but they're necessary.
I'm upset because I just ran out of the Digest Zen that you got me for Christmas, and I'm like,
Oh, it looks like you're going to...
I need to order more.
Yeah, you're going to need some more, so...
Because that stuff kind of, like, changed my life.
I told you. Hit me up. You got to get that. Get some On Guard, too, for the next time you're sick.
I'm not going to get sick again. I can't.
Yeah, you better not. So, we'll see. Well, cool. Should we go into questions?
Let's do it. I don't think I have any other updates besides the fact that, like, I just have to talk about it for 5 seconds. That I'm, like, just upset that Bachelor Winter Games is over.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm, like, upset, but I'm also glad because The Bachelor, honestly, has been destroying, like, I love it so much, which means I have to watch it, which means, like, last week alone, I spent 8 hours of my life watching it, because there was Bachelor on Monday, Bachelor on Tuesday, Bachelor on Thursday, and Bachelor on Sunday.
I know, and it's on tonight, it's on tonight, and then it's going to be on the night that we get back.
I know. I need to make sure I get back in time.
I'm going crazy. Like, I don't know. The Bachelor Winter Games was just so great. I cried so hard at the finale. Like, yeah. I cried so hard. I'm sorry if you haven't watched it. You should have watched it right by now. But when Benoit, like, proposed to Claire, I lost my shit. Like,
I think that, like, of every after the final rose show, like, of all that, like, that was the best one I've ever seen. Like, just so,
it was amazing.
The whole thing was amazing. So we'll see. I'm also so interested to see what happens to the finale of this season of The Bachelor, because I want to know whose boyfriend comes back.
I know, and Chris Harrison promised that this is unlike any finale we've ever seen before. He says that
every day. I'm over it.
I know, like, I don't believe him, but at the same time, I want to believe him because it looks crazy. Did you watch the Women Tell All? Mm-hmm. That was...
I want to know...
weird.
I want to know what that girl was talking about when she goes, I know what you did.
Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah, we're going to find out. I can't imagine Ari doing anything bad. He's such a goody two-shoes.
Do you, like, have a prediction of who he's going to pick?
Yeah. I don't want to say.
Ew. Why? Do you know?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I don't know.
I already know.
But, dang it. I usually look it all up ahead of time, but this time I didn't.
I didn't look it up, but I was an accident. but I still know, so...
Damn.
I can't say it.
Never mind that. Then.
Yeah.
But I'm just way too excited. But anyways, I had to get that off my chest because nobody will talk about Bachelor with me. Corey watches it with me, but I don't know if he actually enjoys it like I do. But anyways, let's just get into the questions.
Okay, cool. Let's start here. This is a really excellent question. It's from Rebecca. What are your feelings on body positivity's push that all the sugars, fried foods, etc. are totally fine to eat in every amount and that it won't hurt your body? Also, what are your feelings on programs like Weight Watchers?
Well,
I'll let you start. I know you have things to say.
Basically, so body positivity's push that things are totally fine to eat. Obviously, like, my thoughts on this are that I don't think that is okay. Like, I like the body positivity movement, and I think just the concept of body positivity and not body shaming ourselves and other people is extremely important, especially since we live in a society where literally everyone is a different size and shape. That's just really important, okay? But I also live in the belief that sugars and fried foods are not totally fine to eat. Like, it's not. And those types of foods have not been around for a long time. Like, they're a pretty new invention, like not even 100 years old yet, fried foods and sugar and ice cream and all the processed foods and stuff. And there's plenty of scientific research to back up that this is absolutely terrible for our body. And I don't think that there's anything body positive about promoting negative foods like that impact our health, because the whole point of being body positive is to impact our mental health. That's supposed to help us mentally and make us stronger. But we can't improve our mental health while degrading our physical health at the same time. It's not a match. Like those two things do not go together. But at the same time, I think it's okay to understand that it's fine to eat those things. Like you shouldn't feel like you're restricting in any way, but you should educate yourself on what those foods are doing to your body. But at the same time, like, know that you could eat it if you wanted to. But the fact that the body positive movement is saying, like, if you're restricting your diet in any way, like if you're paleo or if you're gluten-free or if you're dairy-free and you're not eating like ice cream or cake or whatever, then you're not body positive and you have like eating disorder type tendencies. That's not cool at all. Do you witness that a lot?
What what?
You know, the body positive thing where people are talking about, I think we've talked about this before.
I think there are two aspects of this. There's like the body positive thing as in terms of the shape of our bodies and then separately like in terms of health, like what people are eating. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
And
I think she's talking about like the one in terms of our health.
Yeah. I think she is too, but I also do want to address the other one. But talking about the health one, I agree with you. I think it's gone so far the other way, and it's almost like body positivity now has turned into just a euphemism for health shaming. And it's unacceptable. This is the thing. Any type of body positivity should, like, let's take a step back. This should be rooted in, the point of this is self-love, in my opinion. Self-love, you know? To me, filling your body with foods that you know are harming it, like, this isn't disputable. Sugar is not beneficial to your health, okay? It's not. It harms your mental and physical health. This is scientific, okay? So inundating your body with something that harms it, to me, is not an act of self-love. To me, the ultimate act of self-love is taking care of yourself, that you love yourself enough to nourish your body with the foods it needs to run optimally so you feel your best. And like Kara said, that doesn't mean that you're never allowed to eat sugar again. That's different. But it's like, what are you generally doing? You know, so to me, eating donuts and cake every day is not showing myself any form of self-love. If anything, it's neglecting my health, you know? And that is not body positive to me. That is body hatred. If I hated my body, I would probably put shit into it. But I love my body and I love myself. So of course I'm going to take pride in what I put into it. Like, goes back to the whole, like, my body is my temple thing, right? Like, I want to take care of it and protect it. And that to me is self-love. And that is what body positivity is about. And that is, you know, it's different than, you know, I'm eating healthy most of the time and then, you know, okay, let's say this weekend, Kara and I am sure are going to have some sugar. That's very different than us eating sugar every day and like that's the norm and our health deteriorating because of it. You know, there's a difference there. So it's not about complete restriction, but it's like, what choices are you making every day to show yourself love and positivity? And I'm really sick of this. I'm really sick of the health shaming thing. Like,
yeah, I agree. I think it looks different for everyone though, the body positivity. So like for Christina and I, that means like we eat the way that we do because we know that helps us have a more positive image about ourselves mentally and feel better physically. Like that to us is being body positive. But eating like us, it may not be right for you. Like, that's just the other thing about the whole body positive movement is that it's still not bio-individual enough. It's still not individualized enough yet. Like, they're trying to create this perfect image that if you're not doing these things, if you're not like treating yourself, or if you're on a specific diet, if you're not doing this, you're not doing that, if you're not meditating, if you're not whatever, if you're not journaling, then you're not body positive enough.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Can I share a personal story with this?
Yeah.
It's really affected me and my health. So if you guys have been following me, you know I've had like the past 3 years has just been really ups and downs with me, with my, like, starting from an eating disorder and with my gut health. And so much of my health was, affected by all of these gut issues, and I had to go on this Candida diet and then get rid of my SIBO, and I did all this hard work to, eliminate those symptoms and clear my SIBO and get rid of the Candida overgrowth, and I finished, right? And then once you get through your protocol, it's kind of like, okay, now what? Now, you get to this place where you go, okay, this sounds so silly, but it's like, how do I want to eat from here? Like, what's my everyday life going to be like from here on out eating, versus like having to do low FODMAP or SCD or Candida diet, because once it's clear, it's like, okay, now, what am I going to do? And I was at this place where people for so long had been saying, well, when are you going to eat sugar again? When are we going to be able to go for ice cream? When are we going to do this? When are we going to do that? Meanwhile, I'm in this food blogger space where I'm witnessing this, like, don't restrict yourself. Like, it's really important and healthy to indulge, in these healthy treats and blah, blah, blah. And, people ask these questions. They say, how often can I have a healthy treat? Like, how often can I do this? How often can I do that? And it starts to play all these mind games with you, right? So I was in this space, and in my head, I honestly felt like I felt peer pressured from this community to indulge in treats and sweets. Otherwise they were telling me if I didn't, I was restricting. So I made a rule with myself that I had to get dessert once a week, every week, at least. And this turned into more than that. Okay. But this was literally a rule, and it wasn't based off of how I felt. And every time after I had dessert, I felt like crap. Okay. Like, this had huge impacts on my mental health and my physical health. And guess what? A few months, and I didn't like it, but in my head, I was like, if I don't do this, then I'm restricting, and I don't want to have an eating disorder. I don't want to be restricting, like, this internal battle. And it was really confusing to me and hard for me because I felt like crap every time I would go out for these desserts. But then I felt like, well, if I don't do that, then I'm a bad person because I'm restricting, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what happened? I fell back into binge eating. I got Candida again. I got multiple other bacterial overgrowths again. And it was all that hard work I did for the, year and a half before that, it was gone. And so that was a huge learning lesson for me, that I don't give a shit what other people are saying. And like, maybe what people think of restrictive for me, like what might be good for me might not be good for another person. So maybe for other people, having their healthy treats 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week works for them. It didn't work for me. Okay. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't make me feel good. And so now I'm at a place where even right now, it's like, I'm at the tail end of like all of these sugar-free diets. Right. And I feel the pressure from people. And now I'm much more cognizant of it. And people are saying, they're like, I can't wait for the day you get off this diet, because we can get ice cream every weekend and we can do this. And I'm just like, I'm never going to go back to doing that. The way I eat right now is honestly how I want to eat. Like, it's how I feel my best. And I'm no longer going to apologize for this. And it's funny how many people have actually been bringing this up to me recently in the blogger space. They're like, I realize, like, I feel like crap when I eat so much sugar and chocolate, but the Instagram community makes me feel like you should do it. I have to put a perfect bar in everything. I have to have a donut every week. I have to do this or that. And you don't. If you want to, and that works for you, and that is how you fit into a healthy lifestyle, that's fine. But if you don't want to, if it doesn't make you feel good, you shouldn't feel pressured for that, because there can be negative consequences, and you have to listen to your body, because your body will tell you. Like, for me, it's like, as it was happening, I knew I didn't feel good, but I kept doing it because I felt this outside pressure from people.
Yeah, I agree. And that's exactly what we were just talking about. Like, that works for you, but it may not like work for somebody else like me. Like, you and I are super similar, but for me, I've actually found that I've gotten to the place where if I say that I am sugar-free like 100% of the time, then I feel like I am restricting, and that's not good for me. So like, what works best for me is just saying, I've honestly found that saying that I'm literally nothing. Like, when people ask me how I eat, I don't even like to say that I'm paleo anymore. I don't even like to say I'm gluten-free, even though I literally will not eat gluten. I'm just like, I eat healthy. Like, that, I'm just so sick of labels, because whenever I throw a freaking label on myself, or put myself in like a challenge, or like I love doing the Whole30, but I never said that like I eat Whole30 or anything like that. But anytime I did that, I did feel like I put myself back in some sort of place of restriction, and it triggered something for me. Like, I don't know what it was, but it like triggered something in the past that made me want to be like weird and obsessive. So if I want to eat sugar and like I confirm that with my body, I ask myself like, will I be okay if I eat this? Like, should I eat this? And the answers come back up as like, yeah, you're good. I'm going to freaking eat it. Like, I don't care. That's what works best for me. And you're like the complete opposite. You just know that it's not going to work good for you. But we both have felt this outside pressure that we should be eating a certain way, or else we are restricting, or we're not healthy enough, or whatever. Or like, I know we've both had people say like, it's not normal to not eat a cookie or eat ice cream. Like, my mom used to say that to me when I was like on a Whole30. And while I was on a Whole30, I honestly actually didn't really want sugar, but like everyone was having dessert at some point. And I remember she was like, it's not healthy to just not eat ice cream or not eat a cookie. And I'm like, you don't get it. Like, and I think we've all felt that outside pressure. And I feel like that is a lot of what's going on in some of that body positive community.
I totally agree. And that's why I'm like really glad that we are so, I feel like you're more of a moderator and I'm an abstainer, and that's what works for us. And I'm glad we have both of those examples to like give, because that just speaks to our point of that. It's about figuring out what works for you and your body. And that's why the body positive movement in terms of like eating food is kind of bullshit for most of what they're saying, because they're saying that body positivity is eating this way. That by definition is not body positive. Like,
not at all.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's the opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
That's diet culture.
Yeah, exactly. You're just pushing another diet on somebody else. It's the diet of eating fried food and donuts and cake. That's just another diet that you're pushing on somebody. If it was really body positive,
positivity, yeah,
it would be listening to yourself and doing what works for you, and not caring what it's working for. You know, as soon as you're putting specifics on what that means, like that's why I'm like, what's body positive to me? For me, it's whatever is coming from a place of self-love. So for me, the way I eat out of a place of self-love is different than the way Kara does out of self-love. You know,
yeah,
but they're both from a place of self-love, and that's different for each person.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you have to spend time figuring that out for yourself. And it may take a little bit, like it may take a couple months to really understand like what feels good for you. And you'll probably be toying back and forth between abstaining and moderating from things and like experimenting. And it took me a while to get to the place where I am today, to like be able to grab a perfect bar off of a shelf and be okay with eating it. Like, I didn't say this in the beginning, but the fact that I actually ate that perfect bar today was a huge step for me, and like confirmation that I've made a crap ton of progress, and that I kind of just like understand my body and where I'm at. Because in the past, I would have looked at the perfect bar, I would have seen that there were 20 grams of sugar and 20 grams of carbs and freaked out. I would have just never, ever bought it. I would have probably opted out for some stupid bar sweetened with like stevia or xylitol. Not like those are bad in a sense, but for me, like those don't work for me. But the fact that I even ate that perfect bar and I thought it was delicious and I feel fine and I'm like chill with it and cool with it and at peace and have zero guilt, that is a huge step. And that took a lot of experimentation and like getting to know myself. And like Christina said, choosing choices every single day out of loving myself and not coming from this mindset of scarcity. And I have to say, what helped me make so much progress was getting off of social media, and just stop looking at so much noise. Like, I know you may think that you're following like body positive people and people that are like, I don't know, helping you or trying to be a good influence on you. But any influence, whether it's positive or negative, is an influence, and it's noise. And you'll never, ever know who you are until you stop looking at everyone else. So even if it's for literally a day, get off your phone. Do not look at Instagram. Just pay attention to what's actually going on in your head and not the outside stimulus of other people, because that's how you figure out who you are and what food and exercise and whatever works for your body. And that's why I have such a freaking love-hate relationship with Instagram, and I can't be stable with it because I just have to get off of it. Like,
yeah, it's
rough.
Yeah, well, and same with like, okay, and like another example of that, like the pizza crust. Okay, like me, like a year ago, I clung to food intolerance tests like they were my life. Like I would never cheat on a food intolerance test, or if I knew it was intolerant or something, I'd be like, I'm never eating that. But it's like, that's why people, like, you know, people make fun of me, like, why would you eat the garlic when you know you're intolerant to it? Because for me, that's my version of self-help. Like, it's weighing the pros and cons. It's like, I wanted pizza and I had garlic, and I know I'm going to react, and that's fine. You know, like, I'm choosing that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, no, it's a different version of it. And it's like, me a year ago would have been like, there's garlic or onions or whatever in this, I cannot ever eat it. You know, like, and that's not how,
like, that felt almost worse to you, the thought of restricting it, than just eating it and like being okay with the results.
Yeah. I think it's like anytime, for me, like what I go off of is if something's going to stress me out, like when there's a choice in front of me and I imagine how I'm going to feel depending on the choice, if it's going to stress me out. Like, so you can take something like eating a dessert. For instance, for me, it's like I have this dessert in front of me. Sometimes it would stress me out, the thought of eating it, because I know that it's going to make me feel like total crap the next day, and I'm going to deal with the consequences, and I have no interest in that. And so the thought of like having to deal with that stresses me out. So I'm like, I don't want to have it, you know. But maybe on a different day of the week, the thought of not having it would stress me out, because then I would feel like I was missing out because I really wanted it and I didn't actually care. I was fine with dealing with the effects because emotionally I needed it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's not always the same. It's different on different days, and it's like just which option is gonna make me feel better.
Basically, like, that's once again kind of circling back to flexibility. Like, we talk a lot about metabolic flexibility, but there's also emotional flexibility as well, and that's just being able to tune in with how you're feeling at any given moment and being able to decipher like what is going to be right for you in that moment. So I think like my goal in life is to be flexible in any situation. Like, I want to be emotionally flexible, and I want to be like flexible with my food. I want to be able to like go with the flow, because I really do think that the most flexible person always wins, like any situation. Because if you're always striving to be in control of something, then when something doesn't go your way, you kind of lose. Like, you mentally lose a little bit. And I've always wanted to be in control, so I've really been wanting to like loosen that up and be more flexible. And that is one thing that I pride like the body positivity movement for, is being able to be more emotionally flexible and be like okay with who you are and okay with eating things every now and then and not beating yourself up about it. But I think there are different ways that you can go about it, just other than eating like these crappy foods. You can still be emotionally flexible and like nourish your body with good food. It can go hand in hand. And that's kind of all I have to say about that. But I wanted to like go into the Weight Watchers part. She asked about what we think about programs like Weight Watchers. I think we've actually talked about this, like you and me, before.
Probably. We've talked about everything, so I don't remember what and what not.
What do you think about it?
I actually think of all programs like that, Weight Watchers is one of the better ones. Especially it's all very like 90s to me, but they have been like updating some of their like point systems, like that are more, I think that it kind of depends why somebody's doing it. I think that something like that can be really good for teaching somebody a bit more about portion control, because I think it is important to understand like portions kind of things. But this is my thing with any program like this. They depend on repeat customers, and they're usually backed behind some kind of nutritional foundation that is based on government standards, or it's not usually, how do I word this? You know what I'm saying?
It's just not like right.
Yeah, it's like, just like not good. Yeah, it's just like not good information. Like whether it be the food or the fitness information, and like these programs all depend on repeat customers. So it's like basically designed to like give you results short term, and then put you in a metabolic state so that you probably are gonna like regain the weight, or the way they do it is unsustainable, and then you have to come back because you thought, oh well, Weight Watchers worked for me last year, so I'll just do it again this year.
Yeah, it's all they need like repeat offenders or whatever, repeat customers. They did make some changes that I thought were interesting. Like if you're not familiar with Weight Watchers, like every food has a point, and you have like so many points that you can eat in a day. I feel like that concept alone, it's literally makes me want to punch people though.
It's a prettier version of if it fits your macros.
Exactly. But now they made, so they're advertising that like there are more foods that have 0 points. So here's the thing that pisses me off about that is that it's a game. Like, and people are going to try and see if they can eat the most food that has least amount of points. So everyone's going to go for like the foods that have 0 and 1 point and just shove their face with it until they get to like 30 points or however many you have in the day. And that's not actually teaching you good, sustainable habits.
Or the other thing where they say, I want to have this cake tonight, so I'm not going to eat anything today because I'm using all my points on this cake.
Exactly. It's like macros, literally.
Yeah.
It's like macros, and that just drives me insane. My mom actually did Weight Watchers for a couple months. I think she did it for like a year. A couple years ago, 2 years ago, and she lost like 10 pounds. My mom also doesn't really have any sort of history of like disordered eating or anything like that. Like she just eats when she's hungry. Like she doesn't have any history of that. But I watched her like through this process, and I kind of saw how her mindset actually got more restrictive. Like I felt like she actually started in a really good place, even though my mom doesn't eat really healthy at all. She didn't have any sort of disordered way about calories or food or amounts of food. But she came out of Weight Watchers really discouraged and feeling like she didn't know how much food to eat anymore. Like she didn't actually understand portions. It messed her up even more because she couldn't understand like what a good meal looked like, because she didn't know how many points were in things like without her tracking. And I watched her and how that like emotionally affected her. And I didn't really like to see that. And I'm thinking if it could like affect somebody like my mom who had no history of disordered eating, like what is it doing for other women that already are in this mode of restriction or counting macros or something like that. Also, I know that they do like weigh-ins, like you go to a Weight Watchers meeting, and that's where apparently my mom liked that part because it was more of a social aspect and you got to like meet with people and talk about your journey, which I think is important. And that's why I do like group programs, is because you get to meet with people, but you do weigh-ins. And like my mom would avoid going to the weigh-ins and socializing with people because she knew she gained weight that week and she was embarrassed and she didn't want to go talk to people and make friends. And I saw that also emotionally affect her. And it's like, why do I don't get it. Like, you know,
it's hard because I feel like it turns food into, like you said, like a numbers game, and it turns foods into good and bad, and it makes people fear certain things because they're like overthinking all these points, and like this is my thing. And I have quite a few friends actually who have done Weight Watchers. I can think of 7 people right now who I know.
7?
Who I've talked to about this. And this is the thing. It's like when people argue the efficacy, I'm like, okay, so maybe it works for you, but what is it teaching you long term? Is it sustainable? What are you going to look like in 1 to 2 years? How's your relationship with food? But also, okay, say you lose 10 pounds, but I'm also like, all right, what if you came to me and I could help you drop 20 pounds without the food numbers or rules?
Yep.
Like, sure, maybe you can drop 10 this way, but what if you could drop 20 and keep it off the rest of your life and never be afraid of food again? Like that's the thing. I don't know. And I also see a lot of stuff like on Instagram, for instance. And this is the thing. I do think that they're updating some of their information. I know that people would post things. They say, oh, this smoothie is only 2 points. And it's literally just like 5 cups of fruit.
Exactly. Because all fruit and vegetables are like 0 points.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, our bodies are not responding well to that 5 cups of fruit in your smoothie, right? So that's ridiculous that it's, and I'm pretty sure that they have I don't know, I should have looked this up, but I feel like my friend told me that they recently made fruit do more, and like,
I hope they did.
I just know for a really long time it was coming from a place of like, eat lots of fruits and vegetables, low fat, and I think that they also are doing like incorporating a bit more fat, but it's still very low fat,
Yeah.
So just the nutritional standards are off, like most of what's put out there in America. But I mean, I don't know, man. I just think that there are much better ways. There are much better ways.
I just want to get away from this mentality of like, you have to be on a program, you have to be on a diet, you have to have like somebody there holding your hand telling you what to do in order for you to get results, because that's not true. Like, I just want to get this message across that like, you don't need anyone to come in and save you. You don't need a program to come in and fix your whole life. Like, it starts with you. It doesn't start with Weight Watchers. It starts with you.
I think, yeah, I totally agree. I also think that it's interesting because it teaches people. It never teaches people to listen to their own bodies. And it makes everybody seem like they're equal. Like, everybody should be on this point system. Like, our bodies all react to different foods different ways. And it's like, you are going off of how many points you can fit in that day, not versus if you're actually hungry, actually full.
Yeah, exactly. That's when I did macros. That was like a disaster for me because one, like, I was always hungry when I counted macros. So I starved basically, like, throughout the night. My stomach would literally growl like all night long, and all I wanted to do was eat. But I already went over 1,600 calories, so I couldn't, and I could not listen to my body. And I did that for so long where I just repressed all of my body signals that I like combusted and had all of these issues. So it's kind of the same thing. Like, if you're on this point system, like, our body does not run off a point system. It's not like, okay, we've got 30 points today. Yeah. Make it happen. Like, your body wakes up and it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, this is what we need. But like, it's not a set number right when you wake up. Like, things are flexible and they adapt all day long. Like, maybe you go do a really hard workout in the morning. Like, you may need more quote unquote points throughout the day because of that hard workout. Or maybe you're a woman and you're on your period and you want to eat more. Like, your points then would go up, but I don't see them adjusting that or giving you more leeway for that in the rules. Like, they just don't understand that we're not like this 24-hour reset clock. Men kind of are, because their hormones are like literally a 24-hour clock. They reset like every 24 hours, but women are on, a 28-day cycle, and we're a little bit more fragile, whatever, complicated, but bodies in general don't run off of points, and our brains, like, we're not calculating calories and doing math equations before we knew what like a calorie equation was, it's not like our brain was sitting here doing all the math for us and like being it popped up in our head. This is how many calories we're going to eat today. That never happened ever. So ever.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. This is kind of like related. It's just, I want to bring this up now because I've been thinking about it a lot, and I want to talk to the girls in my program about it too, and I've been talking to a few people about it because I've seen it pop up, and I've talked to you about this before, is this idea put out there about this fear of fullness, and how people say, when they're trying to teach people to listen to their bodies, they say, eat until you're 80% full. Have you heard this?
Yeah, my mom also did another program that was all about, which actually had a lot of good messages, but it was all about chewing your food like a crap ton of times, basically. So it would signal. We do need to chew
our food.
Yes, like that was a good message. Like, and it was actually really great for learning about mindfulness. But the whole idea was you could eat whatever you wanted, but just chew your food. Like at least make sure you're eating for 20 minutes. So, and you chew enough time to signal fullness. So you want to like stop when you're 80 to 90% full, you know, so that way you like eat less because you've been chewing for so long and you're not like 100% full and then you'll lose weight. Like that's kind of how it worked. So I kind of get that.
But I'm sorry, I just have a problem with this advice to eat till you're 80% full.
I mean, I think you can eat until you're like 100% full. I think that's cool.
Like I'm like, how do you know when you're 80%? Like, I just feel like it's teaching people to be afraid of feeling full. And I have heard this from so many people. Like, girls throw this out all the time. They say, well, I don't like to feel full. Like, I'm sorry, when somebody says that to me, red flag goes off in my head. And I have heard so many people say that. Like,
so I think people don't know what full means. Like, I think those people that are like, I don't like to feel full, I think they're all or nothing. They're either going to eat until they're stuffed or they're not going to eat enough. Like, they don't know what being truly full is. Because if you're uncomfortable with being full, then you're overeating because that's not being full. Being full should not be uncomfortable. Being full is being satisfied and happy and like you're in a good place. You ate enough. You have enough energy. You're not bloated. Like you're good. But if you don't feel that way, then you're overeating. You're not in touch with yourself. You're not being mindful enough when you're eating.
Yeah, no, I think that's the perfect point. It's like people don't know what fullness is, but I think that's why so many people undereat and they say, well, I only like to eat until I'm 80% full, so I'm not fully full yet.
Yeah.
And then they're undereating. And I'm like, no, you should feel like satisfied and done. Like you shouldn't want more food, but you also, it should like fullness, you should be able to get up and go on a walk and like not be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know. I'm just really, I don't want people to be afraid. Like you should feel full in my head when you leave a meal, like because otherwise you didn't nourish yourself completely. Like that's how your body tells you when you ate enough food.
Yeah, I'm the same way. That's like old diet advice. That's like you said, like from the 90s. That's like old diet advice to eat till you're 80% full. Honestly, I don't even like know how to gauge
old diet
80% full.
How do you know if you're 75% or 80% or 85%? Like I feel like it's just trying to give people permission to undereat.
It is. That's literally what it is.
It's telling
For me, there is no in between. Like I'm either full or I'm still hungry.
Exactly. Me too. That's why I just hate this advice, and I just have seen it pop up like on 4 different people's things this week, and so I've been really irritated about it because I just feel like it sends the wrong message to people.
It does. I think you should totally eat.
If you're leaving a meal wanting more food, like you're still hungry, I think that you're still hungry.
Exactly. Even if you leave a meal and like mentally you're still thinking about food, like I've done that before.
Then you're still hungry.
I've left a meal and I'm like, I ate the whole meal, by the way. Like I ate the whole meal and I'm like, oh man, this sounds really good right now. Yeah, I wasn't, okay, that's actually a little bit different. That may have been like you didn't actually eat like what your body wanted you to eat. that's like, I don't know what that is, but basically if I feel that way, like if my meals are too carb dense, like if there's not enough protein or fat, but that still goes into like the fullness factor. If you're still thinking about food, like you're not truly like full.
Yeah.
In all sentences. Interesting.
Yeah, I just had to bring it up. So that was a really good question. I'm glad we covered it. And
yeah.
I know that was the only thing we got to, but I think it's an important topic. So
it was like a 5-in-1 question. Yeah. So thanks, Rebecca. That was a really good one.
Excellent question. If you guys have more questions, please send them in to straightuppaleo@gmail.com or submit them on our website, straightuppaleo.com.
Yep, you can do that, and you can join our Facebook group, Straight Up Paleo Pals. It is the place to frickin' be.
It is so poppin' in there. I'm obsessed with that group.
I know, I am too. They bring up some really interesting questions.
Yeah.
Really interesting questions. And I know I don't respond to all of them, but I definitely read all of them. And it's just a cool community. Like these girls and the couple guys that we have are pretty cool.
Yeah, they're amazing. So
are you tired?
Yeah, sorry. I'm a mess. I'm sneezing. I'm yawning. I'm trying to fit in everything before we go to Portland. But yeah, join the group if you haven't already.
Yes.
Please. It's so much fun.
Please do. Okay. Yes, and subscribe and leave a rating and review so this can get out to more people. If you know somebody that, you know, you want to hear this message that you heard on the podcast, share it with them. That's the best way to get the word out about everything that we talk about.
Definitely.
In the podcast.
Definitely. Okay, well, we hope you guys have an incredible March. Happy March, if you're listening to this as it comes out.
Oh my God, it's March. Okay.
Wish Kara a happy birthday. Let her know. And we will talk to you guys again next week.
Okay, bye.